Yeah, welcome to Three Conservative Gimps. To all of you freedom and liberty lovers out there, we've got a great show today. I'm going to turn down my headphones so I don't blow out my ears. We've got a great show today. We're going to be talking mostly uh, things that relate to guns because we've had some very interesting, tragic events that happened this week that concerns guns. Number one, we're going to be talking about the assassination of former Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, a country that has a very strict gun laws there, and yet he was killed by a gun. So we'll be talking about that. And the 800-pound gorilla in the room. We'll be talking about the Highland Park shooting on July 4th. And we'll be talking about that. And we'll be talking also about Biden gaffs. You know, how he reads the notes in the teleprompter and he actually says the word that says, sit here. Oh boy. You can't make up the shit. I mean, it is crazy out there. So I hope you guys had a wonderful 4th of July holiday we call Independence Day. We may talk a little bit about Independence Day and what it means to us. Maybe we'll dive into the Constitution for a bit. So let's get this show going. Let's bring up my co-host all the way from Muskogee, Oklahoma. Let's welcome the effervescent Lloyd Mendenhall. Hey, Lloyd.
Hey, Art. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How was your time up at the cabin?
Never made it there. It was too damned hot.
Oh my.
We've been running in the hundreds today. We had a cool spell come through. I think our current temperature is like 97. So,
Wow.
we had a cool front come through. Even better, it's only 92 degrees out.
Oh,
which is a cold front for what we've had. We've had all through the holiday weekend. You know, we were going to go out there because the 6th of July was our 41st wedding anniversary.
yeah,
That's what we're going to do.
congratulations. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we've lasted 40 years longer than anybody thought we would. So I said we wouldn't. They won't make it a year, and it's been 41 now. So, but no, it was just too dead blame hot to go out. I mean, it was. We didn't leave the house other than a couple of times I had to go up to the grocery store and buy some groceries, and Judy just wasn't feeling, and she said, I just can't do it in this heat. And well, I can't eat. And that's a bad thing with MS. You know, that's why I'm one of the 3 conservative gimps, is because I have MS. And the heat makes that worse. I've been having quite a few problems this last week because of the heat. So I'm just staying in the house. But yeah, we wanted to go up there. It just didn't work. Yeah, thanks, Mike B. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's just like, oh my God, you know, and yesterday and today we got a bit of a break. So, but we're looking at, starting Monday, we're looking like 10 days over 100 degrees. We're going to be running. That's not the heat index. Our heat index Friday or Thursday, I can't remember which, was 112 degrees because it was like 104 and
Wow.
just ungodly. So unfortunately, we didn't do anything. We just hunkered down and watched every episode and all the movies of Downton Abbey again. And I think I caught up on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I'm all caught up on it now. Interesting ending to the season.
Yes.
But, you know.
Was that the end of the season?
That was the ending. Yeah, that was the season finale.
Oh, okay. Now we'll have to watch Discovery.
And what I like about it is it is episodic. You know, in other words, it does episodes. So you have an underlying, you know, storyline going there through the whole series, but you've got But you still have episodes. But
Right. Mm-hmm.
yeah, climate change, right? Yeah, it's that climate change crap. It's what it
Yeah.
is. It's all these damn politicians and all of their hot air talking so damn much right now.
Yep.
If you
That's
look
right.
every election year, especially if it's going to be a major election, something that's going to turn this country around one way or the other, left or right. It's one of those. Those are the years that we have the hottest temperatures in the summertime because all those hot air politicians talking, and that's the climate change right
Yep.
there. Get rid of all
That's
the
right.
politicians, and we would be a cooler country.
Mm-hmm. Might be that's the Paramount network. Yeah,
Yeah,
Paramount Plus. You could
Paramount Plus,
get that.
yeah.
It's not very expensive. It's like $6 a month.
Yeah, about $6 a month, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, you got to put up with some wokeness because it's part of CBS.
Oh,
You
especially
know,
Discovery.
I
Boy,
don't. I refuse to watch Discovery. I haven't watched
yeah.
Discovery. I didn't watch the end of it, and I haven't watched the end of Picard because I just, uh, I
Picard
watched.
wasn't so bad, but it's sort of in between
Yeah, yeah,
Strange New Worlds and Discovery.
yeah. The
Discovery
good
just
thing.
got so,
Oh,
but
they were woke from the first episode. They've been so
yeah,
woke from the first episode, and you know, okay, so that's fine. It's supposed to be in the future and everything, and everybody's sitting around holding hands and singing "Kumbaya."
yep,
Kumbaya, it's not the world we live in, but it's the one they think we should.
yep. Alrighty, let's get into some stuff like our topic today. So,
Yeah,
a few days ago, I think about 3 days ago, the former Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, was assassinated. Go figure, with a gun in
yeah.
Japan.
Here's the thing. That was the amazing thing about the gun. That this guy was intent on killing, and this just goes to
Yep.
show you how far they will go. This was a homemade gun. He made it
Mm,
himself.
yep.
And yeah, it's like he fired once and either missed or just didn't do any damage. The second one was the one that killed him, but this was a handmade gun. It's made out of
Mm.
plastic, I think, if I read it right.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Wow, I
it
wasn't
it's
sure.
it's very similar in what the way they described it. Have you ever seen the Clint Eastwood movie In the Line of Duty?
Yes, I did.
Remember the guy makes that gun out of a plasticine. He's a model builder, and he makes
Right.
it right there. That
Yep.
sounds yeah. Homemade guns should be illegal. You're
Yep.
right. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And not and homemade guns not only should be they're dangerous for the maker too because sometimes they take shortcuts even if it's made out of metal. I mean, uh,
Mm.
now when you say homemade guns, now there are like a lot of the muzzle loading stuff. I used to build guns
Yep.
with my
My
brother,
dad was
and
into that.
we built a couple muzzle loading rifles. Now, but we ordered the barrels, which had serial numbers on them, from
Mm-hmm.
a manufacturer. You didn't manufacture. There were very few guys that manufactured their own barrels, and they.
Right. Oh,
But
that takes a lot of work, and
well,
if
yeah,
you're going to rifle the barrel
you
yourself,
got to be a
that
machinist. Yeah, you got to
yep,
be a machinist and a gunsmith to do that. Got to have that, and most guys don't build that kind of stuff at home. Uh,
right. My dad got his barrel and action from Dixie Gun Works from
right?
Ohio.
Uh, yeah. Well, Green River Gunworks used to make
Yep, that was
a
another one.
lot of yeah. That's where my brother got his stuff from. But I think Green River is there in Utah is where it comes. I think is where they're.
Oh, okay.
And so it was right next to Colorado, so you had a shorter shipping time.
Right.
Or at the time, you could go into gun shops that dealt predominantly with muzzle loading, and you could go in there
Mm-hmm.
and buy the barrel here and the double
Mm-hmm.
set triggers and the hammer and the different depending on what
Right.
you're making. The flint system, if it's a flintlock.
Yep. Or if it's a percussion lock, getting really technical in the guns.
Yeah. And
So, hey, let's say hello to a few of the folks. Mike,
yeah.
Tex Art Drone Guy, Chris Wedgeworth, Mason Kaiser, and Mike B, aka the Drone Ranger. Mickey McH, welcome. Good to see you. And I think that's about it.
Yeah, it looks like about it, but
Yep.
yeah. But that assassination in Japan is just it's beyond me why, I don't think, he said he was dissatisfied with the former prime minister about something. I mean,
I mean, yeah, it's not like he's still the leader of anything. He's just
right,
giving a campaign speech, and
I'm dissatisfied that Ken Heron's going to every other week now on his show, but I'm not going to go shoot him.
yeah, that's right.
Because
And so that was his motive. He was disgruntled. Was he a former government worker? Or?
No, I don't know the whole details. I don't think they've released it.
They're being pretty tight-lipped about it.
Yeah, his comments were that he was just he was dissatisfied with whatever the former prime minister had done, either as prime minister or as, and I'm thinking, how long ago was this guy prime minister? I can't remember when he was prime minister.
In the 2000s.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Wasn't he the guy that George H.
Mason says the guy was former military. Mason says the guy was former military. Okay.
Wasn't Abe the one that George H.W. Bush threw up on?
That's what I was thinking too. I was thinking exact same thing,
Yeah.
But
because he served 2 terms and he was the longest serving prime minister.
Yeah, well, he served
in the modern era, post.
Yeah, he served 2 terms, or he served one long term at one point, and then came back. Then he came back and served again. Sort of the Grover Cleveland type thing.
Right.
So, but he's browning 2 pounds of assorted meats. Well, Mickey, I'm going to be at your house this afternoon. Okay.
Just
because sounds like he's cooking some good food, and I'm always up for good food.
So, you were supposed to have a special guest in, and I haven't seen him. I'll give him another message.
Okay. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's, and to me,
right.
Yeah, Mike B, you're probably right. I think that's what he's testing to see if he's going to lose any audience members or not. I mean, he's going to play like the best of every other week too. So,
Yep.
And that would be okay if it's one of those done where you can interact with what's on the show, like a live pre-recorded live chat show, but anyways, yeah, I was going to say something. Well, no, this is the example. If a guy wants to kill somebody, it's just that easy. It's just that simple. They can find a way. They're going to do it. Especially in a country that has.
I remember back in the 60s, there was another Japanese. He was I think he was someone in the legislature or cabinet member, and some guy
I think he was a cabinet member.
Got him with the samurai sword.
Samurai sword, yeah. There are, it comes down to the fact it doesn't matter. I mean, right now, I don't have it on me, but my gun is in there by my bedside, and it doesn't look. And I'm watching it on a monitor to make sure that it doesn't jump up and do something it's not supposed to.
Right.
And it hasn't moved for 2 days, so.
That's good.
Yeah. Maybe it's well trained.
That.
Yeah. It's better trained than my dog.
So this leads into our next subject. We had an unfortunate incident on the 4th of July up in Highland Park, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago, just north of Chicago, where a kid basically was 21 years old.
21 years old.
Definitely whacked out. Had purchased several guns over a couple years.
Yeah. Well, and his father signed for him because they had to have have to have some sort of gun, I guess a gun license or whatever, and his father sponsored him so he could go get another gun. It's just like, and I haven't seen the latest update because I kind of quit watching. Here's the thing. If you watch the 24/7 on these, you become numb to it, so that when you see another gun violence, another bit of craziness like that, you're going, I'll go watch something on, oh, look, it's my weekly shooting notice. Well, I'd rather see what my weekly joke, I'd rather go watch my daily jokes, because at least they change, And that's unfortunately that we're getting jaded to that, the war in Ukraine still is going on, but we're not hearing about it. We've still got high gas prices. We're not hearing about it. We still have high inflation. We're not hearing about it. We're hearing about Roe versus Wade or whatever and all of that stuff. It's just like we're not hearing about it because we become numb to that stuff, and they have to keep changing. And so I haven't kept up, but from what I understand, his father was a bit of a... Yeah, you're right. Mason is saying in the chat that
right.
The cops have been to the house. This was the red flag law did not work. The background check didn't work. The cops are partly culpable for this because they didn't turn in the reports. And I think when you go to some place and you remove weapons from a person, even if they're knives and they're suicidal, that needs to be annotated and put into the database. But here's the problem, and this is the left wants to take our guns away. That's what they want to do. So they don't want to. They want to say the red flag law failed. We're going to have to get stronger. We're going to have to take all the guns. It's not working. They don't want these people to report that stuff. They want it to continue so that they can make stronger and stronger gun laws. And the laws they got are failing because they're not being enforced. That's the problem. They're not being enforced.
Well, and also it's who are the people that are not following the laws? It's the criminals.
The criminals, yeah.
Law-abiding people, they're the ones following the laws.
Oh, yeah.
And all that's doing is making them to be victims because they're unarmed, they can't protect themselves. And even if they do protect themselves, how about that guy in New York that stabbed
in
that
the bodega?
guy tried to rob his bodega?
And killed him, and it's
and then he got
ludicrous.
charged with murder.
With murder, yeah, that's the craziest thing I ever seen. I mean, we're seeing this kind of crap going on in all of these liberal states,
Well, and it's also because of the George Soros backed district attorney.
District attorneys,
this guy is very left wing.
Yeah,
doesn't want to charge criminals with breaking the law, but hey, if you're a law-abiding person and you mess up, they'll bring the hammer down on you.
Yeah, and Mason's right. The Dems want chaos and lawlessness.
Yep, that's right.
That's you look at the revolutions of many of the communist countries. Look at Cuba before it became communist, and Batista and all of the riots and stuff that went on before that. Russia. Look at the
prior to the
protest. The Bolsheviks coming in and stirring things up. That's what they want. That's what they do, and they've never been closer to doing that in this country than they are right now. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and and this is the thing. People wonder why the right or gun owners are concerned about gun registration and all of this and these gun laws like that. It's because if they've got all that in a giant federal database that they can go through if we have a nefarious government that decides it's time to switch to communism, they can go through that database right there and say, oh, look at it, oh, Mr. Mendenhall's got 4 guns because he bought them legally, but he's got 4 guns. Obviously, he is a gun owner. Obviously, he supports the Second Amendment, and obviously, he's somebody that we need to take care of and go get his guns because he will be anti-revolutionary. You know, that's exactly why a lot of gun people are upset with some of these laws. I mean, we have to do something.
It's not just the guns. They've even weaponized the IRS under Obama when he went after conservative groups.
Right. But I mean, that's the thing. That's what this is. That's what this all comes down to. That's what this is all about. Is our country being slowly taken over by, and it's been slowly up until they got Let's Go Brandon in the White House. When Brandon got up there, they had the perfect Manchurian candidate / puppet. You know.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We got we got Brandon in the cackler. You know.
Yeah. Oh God. And their poll numbers are tanking. He's in the mid to low 30s right now.
Yeah,
and
right now. And she's in the 20s, I think, isn't she?
Is even below that.
Yeah, I'm thinking she's in the mid to upper 20s right now, and it's just they have no policy. I look every day and I just scratch my head and I'm going, oh my God, you know. But it goes to show you, Mason, you're right. They should go after the gangs and drug dealers and cartels to take the gun. Here's the thing. Back in the early 80s and the 90s, the Colombians down in Colombia, that's where the big drug cartels were at. Well, we sent troops down there to help out. We eradicated the Colombian cartels for the most part. But we didn't really. We just moved them further north. Now they're the same groups of people have just taken, and right now the Mexican government doesn't have, they're so corrupt anyways, and they have been for years. I mean, it's always been like that. I used to go down to Mexico, and I'm talking down in Guaymas, down in Sinaloa, Mexico. We used to go down there, and was it Sonora? I can't remember which state it was in. I think it was Sinaloa, but it might have been. Well, I did go into Sinaloa. Anyways, we were going down there to Hermoso, and or Hermosa. I can't remember how to pronounce it now. And driving down there, and it was like 600 miles in country, 700 miles past the border, And we were driving to a small town to visit some people down there. They were expecting us. Well, as we came into the edge of town, the police were out there. It was sort of like the firemen with their boots, during Labor Day weekend. But these police, they stopped us, and they said, "Well, we're making a collection." They had some kids standing there. "We're taking collections for these young people here, blah 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 blah." And so, okay, well, we had to go a little further. We stopped at this place and spent the night, and then the next day we were going down to Campo de Piqueros. No, we were way the hell Tijuana. No, I believe it or not, I've never been to Tijuana. I went in through
oh God,
I went down there through Arizona at
Oaxaca. You need to go to Oaxaca.
Where's that at? Which side?
That's down on the Pacific coast, way down there.
Yeah,
that's where they make the guacamole. The Oaxaca guacamole.
Yeah. Well, I always traveled down. We were down on the Pacific coast of mainland, right across. I mean, we could take a ferry and go across to Baja, in the peninsula. So we were way down past. We were, like I said, 600-700 miles down in there. And anyways, the next day, get up and we go to leave town, and the cops are at the other end of town. Says you had to pay to get in, you had to pay to get out.
Right. Yeah.
And then I got
ladies
stopped.
And gentlemen, I hate to cut you off there. Our guest is in. Fox News, they have Tyrus. Well, hey, we got Adrian Mateo. Welcome, Adrian.
Howdy.
Hello, Mr. Adrian.
How's everybody?
How you doing? We're doing good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. I'm actually pissed the hell off because I crashed my damn Mavic Air.
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw that. Ouch. Oh,
man.
Oh. What is it that guy says? Oh, the inhumanity of it, like when the Hindenburg crashed.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, that tree just came out of nowhere and just hit my drone.
Yeah, trees are dicks, aren't they?
Yeah, I was thinking. I just about wrote that up there on your post too. I almost wrote that up there. But yeah,
I don't want to jump into any kind of conclusion, but what are we talking about so I know where to start?
Well, we were talking about guns because of the assassination of the former Japanese Prime Minister and then the shooting up at Highland
July
Park,
4th.
Illinois. So
right.
We're talking about that, and we're talking about some of the crazy things that Biden's doing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you guys brought that up. Have you guys heard of the Hodge twins?
Yes. Yeah, I follow them.
All right, good. Well, they posted a video of a black conservative Republican. Have you guys seen
it? I know.
The video
yeah, I haven't seen the video, but I follow him as well.
Okay, well, the little post they posted is a black pastor who literally believes in guns, and he's literally bashing Biden and their minions about guns, and he's saying that when bad folks are coming after you, the AR-15 happens to be the best rifle for you to have. And by the way, it has 30 plus rounds, so you're going to need every single round to defend yourself, your property, and your family.
I actually yeah, that's a commercial. The guy's running for Congress. I've seen that commercial.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
And and on this commercial, he says he has guys standing out in the yard burning a cross, wearing the white hoods.
Correct.
And instead of the KKK, they got a picture of a donkey on their white sheets.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
He says, when the Dems are coming at you, he says 30 plus rounds are what you need to protect. Yes, I saw that guy.
Okay.
And yeah. And I hadn't seen the Hodge twins' reaction or the Black Conservative Patriots. Because I follow both those guys just because the Hodge twins just crack me up. They come up with some of the greatest stuff. But yeah, I saw that commercial. And that is another one talking about why the AR-15 is needed, and it shows these Klansmen out there. And when he steps out there with that AR-15, they take off running. Of course,
exactly. They take off running. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and that's true.
That's to let you know how stupid the Democrats are when it comes to their agenda. Like, who told you that? First of all, they actually making it sound like the AR-15 is made by the devil when the army uses it today. It happens to be, again, like we were talking the last time, is that when's the last you seen a gun on trial for murder? Never. So why are you even making a stupid comment about you don't need 30 rounds to kill a deer or defend your family? Look at dumbass. Yes, I do.
Yeah,
because some of us are lousy shots. When those deer, they're fast.
They are.
Well, Yeah, and and to be honest, I don't have an AR-15, but I do have I do have a hunting rifle. It's 243. The AR-15 is just the civilian version of the M16, which is what I carried when I was in the service. And so my son, who is a cop, he has one. And he bought it as a civilian, not as a police officer. He had one built by one of the guys that do that is part of the police organization. But but that's what he has for a home protection weapon. And
and have you noticed that the media hasn't said anything about the weapon that kid used up in Highland Park?
Yeah, they've well, of course, they're not going to, because he's one of their poster children. He was cross-dressing. He was
That's right. Plus, the gun they used was a Caltech, which shoots pistol rounds, not rifle rounds.
Oh, really? So it was. I didn't see.
It has a folding stock,
right?
So he was able to fold it up and conceal it. And so, because the ARs, they're mean looking, and everybody knows the AR stands for assault rifle, which is not. No,
it doesn't.
The AR is for Armalite Rifle.
Armalite
Rifle, company that made.
Yeah, they were the first designers of the AR.
Right. So the
wow,
Caltech,
Mason.
I think.
Yeah, M14s, which the M14 is basically what the I think they still sell the Ruger makes a rifle that's based off the M14.
Yes, it's called the Mini 14.
The Mini 14, yeah,
which shoots a 223.
223, yeah.
Now, guys, have you noticed that the liberal media is not really talking about this LGBT element of P dude that shot those people? They're not really saying much about him.
No, they're not,
because it doesn't fit their agenda. Of course, because they're going to make themselves look bad. Because if you notice, they always jump at the conclusion when it comes to everything and have to do with Republicans. But when they do something, nobody says nothing about it.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it's more of the conservatives that are raising hell about it right now, because they're bringing the point that, hey, you got these laws in effect and your police department didn't do their job the first time. You knew there was a problem. The parents knew there was a problem. They didn't do their job.
Yep.
Correct.
And I mean, for God's sakes, and here's another thing. Why is it we have this? Have you noticed the age that most of these people are that commit these crimes right now? They're all in their...
almost teenagers.
They're teenagers up to about 21, 22. That's the same group that grew up on Ritalin,
Yes.
That's the ones that were given the anti-anxiety, the antidepressants, all of those medications, because they were... How does a whole generation of people, a whole group of people, become these mass murderers, and how is it that they're like it? Because this is what we're looking at. We're looking at an age group that is, 1, full of hate, 2, isn't scared to kill anybody, 3, has got 90% of them have mental disorders, or they are part of a hate group, or all. How is this happening? It's because
called education.
Yeah, well, they haven't been educated, but even when they were educated,
they've
ones going to school,
educated, but educated wrongly.
They don't have history.
They've been indoctrinated. They have their skulls full of mush, just bombarded and garbage.
Well, like I was saying, I can't remember if it was Tucker Carlson or who said it. But there's some, and because I was listening to it on the XM radio or whatever that
Right.
is,
Yep.
my satellite radio. Anyways, I was listening to it as I was driving, and they were going through the list of medications that have been prescribed over the last 10 to 20 years, last 25 years, and the increase of these kind of medicines, these antidepressants, these anti-anxiety drugs, these stuff like Ritalin and, you know, mind-altering stuff to help these children deal with whatever the problem is. Yeah, all of these, they've increased by 320, 350%. I mean, over the last 25 years. I mean, and here's the other thing. Most states have legalized marijuana now. I thought I thought pot was supposed to mellow you out. Why are all these young kids so damn mad at everything? You know, I mean,
exactly.
You know, I thought we'd legalize pot and everybody get around sing Kumbaya and we'd all be stoned and happy, and it ain't working that way. That's because they've altered a generation of children with all of this crap that they're pumping into them. These doctors are getting kickbacks from prescribing all this stuff. You know, they're I remember, God, it's probably about 15 years ago. Our doctor was late coming in. He says, "I am so sorry." He says, "I was just at a staff meeting with one of the drug companies, and it was a dinner. They provided us with a nice dinner." I said, I said, "Oh, that's nice." I said, "So is that what my insurance is paying for?" He says, No. He says, the pharmaceutical company paid for it." And I said, "Really?" I said, "And I sat here for an extra 15 minutes or extra 30 minutes or an hour waiting on you so you could go have a nice dinner? Man, what do I get out of it?" And he reaches in and he hands me a pen. He said, "Oh, here, have this pen." They gave it to me. That damn pen was about a $25 ink pen. You know, I mean, it was like a cross or something. It was nice. I said, "You're kidding me." He said, "No." He says, "Take it." He says, "Oh, here's one of those lights the doctors use to look into your tonsils. You know, here, take that too."
Oh, there you go. Oh, you're getting all the freebies.
Yeah, well, he was shutting me up from bitching too much because
I'm surprised he didn't give you some downers to shut you up.
Nah, he knows I won't take them. He knows I won't take them. You know, only pills I take is for my blood pressure. You know, and and for my MS. And that's all I take. You know, but it's just yeah, Mason said, "Plus pot today isn't your dad's pot from back in the day."
Yeah, that's true. It is.
I think this well, and I think this goes in line with a lot of things. Once they start coming up with a manufacturing type, you know, for medical pharmaceutical marijuana, you know, they have to meet a criteria now. Well, that's not the natural grown stuff that was grown in your, you know, in your garden box back in the 60s and 70s, you know. No, that's not, you know, it's not Maui Wowie or Acapulco Gold, you know.
Now, wait a minute. The liberals are always up in arms about GMO, but they're okay with GMO pot.
Yeah, that's
genetically modified.
Yep. Yeah, and that's it. And when you start making these unnatural things, you know, I mean,
now they come in different colors. Have you seen that?
No,
they've got blue pot, they've got red, and they've got.
I tell you what, I was here 2 weeks ago now, or a week ago Friday. I had to take my son's mother-in-law to the 3 different doctor's appointments, and she lives in a trailer behind her house, and so I'd escort her in. She, you know, because she's like 87, I think.
Wow.
And, you know, she had some health issues, and her daughter couldn't get off, and so I escorted her to the doctor. Well, as I was bringing in, she says, "Would you look what she's put in my flower box?" And she has this flower box of her plants. And my daughter-in-law raises all sorts of plants out there. Well, turns out she's raising something else. And I looked down there, and it took me a minute to like, why are you bitching about weeds? Why is she growing weed? Oh, a weed. Weed, yeah. And because I looked at them, and the first thing that comes to mind is weeds, like dandelions. You know, I'm like, what's that crap? What's that crap?
Like thistle or
yeah, something like that. You know, I'm like,
kudzu.
It'd been so long since I'd seen it. It took me a little while to recognize. So I've got an endless supply. All I got to do is sneak over at night and snip off a little bit, and they've got let it dry out here. Turns out, of course, they've set up. She's allowed to, in Oklahoma's law, she's got a medical marijuana card, and she's allowed to have a certain amount of plants. I actually looked it up because I thought that ain't right. She's going to get busted, and that's going to bring down a lot of problems. So I went and looked up the law, and they're allowed to grow X amount of plants and or blah blah blah. I was thinking,
right.
That's why she wanted the greenhouse. It wasn't to grow all them cactuses that she was selling. It was to grow something else.
Okay. So,
she's still not any nicer. I mean, she's still, I'm thinking if you're smoking pot, you're supposed to be laid back. She's not.
Yeah.
Laid back and mellow, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it seems like some people are just getting angrier with the shit they're taking now.
Exactly. That's it. We got a whole generation of angry people, and it's just
paranoid too.
Well, yeah. The paranoia does go with the 420 movement. I mean that's a given.
So I found I took the arm that broke. I took it off.
Yeah.
So instead of giving DJI $400 plus to fix this, I ordered the arm myself, and I'm gonna replace it when they get here Tuesday.
There you go.
So,
excellent.
There you go.
The whole arm thing is actually found. The only piece that broke is this one right here, the little leg,
right.
The antenna goes.
Yeah.
I just took it apart. Here's the wire, and I'm just gonna put that in there. Pop the other one, screw it back on. Good to go.
There
Excellent.
You go.
Glad to hear that.
Awesome.
So, are you going to cut that tree down? I saw several people recommend you cutting that tree down.
Yeah, I'm actually,
there you go.
It's already kind of rotten, so I'm about to get my chance, and I'm gonna fuck it up.
Was that your Air 2S, or which one was it? That was your Mavic 3, wasn't it?
Oh no! Oh hell no! I would really be pissed. No, this is the Mavic Air 2.
Air 2, okay, all right.
Yeah,
all right.
Air 2. Now my Air 2S on my Mavic 3. If that's what it was, I would be cussing right about now.
Yeah, well.
Well,
you're right, Mason. If you have you can't carry and you can't own or buy a firearm. Yes, exactly.
Right.
And
not just that, Mason. Just to piggyback on what you just said, I haven't really been paying attention to the chat, but also because I'm a Class A serial holder, Lloyd, Art, everybody in the chat. I'm not allowed to have any Tylenol PM or any PM, any kind of cough medicine that make you drowsy, any kind of medicine that will make you drowsy on my person while I'm working on my work truck. If I do, I would go to prison. No questions asked.
Yeah. It's like my son was talking. He'd become a supervisor. He's now a supervisor. He works in the office now after he's been there. Oh God, about 20 years now, and he finally got promoted to supervisor. So he works in the office. And one of the first things he had to do was they had a guy that was a good worker, but he was a temp, and they were fixing to hire him on. And they sent him down for his blood test. He came back. He had something in his system, and he had to fire him. Because you're not allowed to have anything in your system. He's in a works in a fabricating shop that fabricates these big giant fans that are used as cooling fans or used on cooling towers for the oil industry. It's used all over the place, but that's what they manufacture. And there's a lot of machinery down there that they can get injured. So you cannot. And my grandson, being autistic, says, "Well, that wasn't very nice. What was he? Was he smoking dope?" And he said, "Well, I'm not privy. I can't say." But he said even if he had a medical marijuana card, that still is not allowed.
Yeah. Same here in Colorado.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who don't know, I've been looking for a new job, and I hear that every time I go to an employment agency, temp agency, they tell you the whole.
Right.
Yep. Oh, even poppy seeds will give you a false positive. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of distracted because I've got the monitor camera on Judy watching in there, and she's watching Rio Lobo, not Rio Lobo, Rio Bravo, and it was Dean Martin and
James Caan.
No, not James Caan. No, it's Dean Martin and Ricky Nelson and Walter Brennan were singing. Yeah, Bring It On Home, Cindy, Cindy in my ear. And I'm going, what the? Oh, okay. Because the monitor camera is up on our dresser, which is also where our big TV's at. And so it's right next to it. I'm going, what the hell? I about asked, Adrian, what the hell are you listening to? That, and then I realized, oh, wait a minute, that's a damn movie. But I'm like, okay, I'm having flashback from the 70s. Yeah.
Now, guys, thank you again for having me back. But I got a real concern when it comes to the way a lot of folks think. A lot of folks think that if you just vote for president, Senate, and the House, that's all you got to do. You will be all hunky dory and everything. But this is where a lot of people fail to understand.
Yeah,
you have to vote for those because it's also your civil duty as an American. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
However, the ones that make a lot of difference that's gonna impact you the most is the fucking local laws in your area, like mayor. You know what I mean? City commissioner,
city council, city commissioner, county commissioner.
Like you'd be surprised. Those are the ones that
Board of Education.
Board of Education, exactly. And then when you vote for these local judges, you know what I mean? But a lot of people only think, well, if I vote for the president, I voted. Okay, that's good. But hey, you know what I mean? It's not when it comes to your local laws that's going to affect your area.
Yeah, when I was a younger person, they used to say to get people involved. They said, you need to go, go join, go run for a seat on the Board of Education. That was a big thing. That was a starting point. Board of Education or the City Council or the County Commissioner. But those were a little higher up. But to get started, they wanted you to either get on the City Council or get on the Board of Education. Board of Education was a great stepping stone.
Or any
when I was
board.
Like any board,
the library, historical
board,
society,
Yeah, those are more important, especially nowadays. Those of us that are patriots, I'm going to say it that way, because I'm sure that not everybody's a far right wing conservative. Most of us are patriots. We love our country. We may not be proud of it, as that one survey says, but we love our country. And I served this country, so I have a deeper respect for this country than a lot of people nowadays, and except old vets like myself, and the good young Americans like like Adrian and others that are coming along and seeing how ridiculous this is. And Adrian, you're absolutely right. Those
local
city boards, local elections are far more important because, the president hasn't really done anything major to help me, or he's done a lot to affect me. That's on the way gas prices are, but our state boards that regulate stuff like gas prices and stuff, gas taxes, they're the boards you need to be on. They're the ones that are going to affect you because, yeah, you're going to have to deal with federal crap, but what about all the local stuff? I mean, it's like when you buy a pack of cigarettes, you're double taxed because on a pack of cigarettes on the bottom here, where is it? Yeah. Well, it's green, so it looks invisible. But that invisible hole through my pack of cigarettes is a green state of Oklahoma tax stamp. Okay. But when I buy these, I also pay a sales tax. And our sales tax is like 9.3%. So and that 9.3% sales tax includes part of a state tax. So I'm being screwed twice by the state, and a lot of people have, even if you go out to, let's say, one of the casinos and buy them from the Indians, well, you have to pay an education tax through them, and they turn it over to the state. So, and right now the cost of gas, well, that's on the other side of town. That's a 6-7 minute drive across town, and I got to say, our gas was $4.15 the other day.
Yeah, it has come down a little bit.
It has come down a little bit. I was surprised.
Yeah. For how long? Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Now the lowest I found gas right now in Florida is $4.29, and the freaking line was like 2 miles long. Every other gas station were empty except that one. Just because it was $4.29, but then I also scratched my head sometimes like, damn, now that gas prices are so high, every pump that I go to is full. But before, when it was $1 and some change of $2, you barely find 1 or 2 people pumping gas. Well, now everybody needs gas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Like the gas station I go to the most up here is our local convenience store. They took out all of their premium gas. They have one blend. One blend, yeah, and it's the 10%. It's the
87
octane. Yep, and that's it.
And the thing is, Lloyd, I'm gonna make an argument. You tell me if I'm wrong or right. Correct me if I'm right or wrong. I kind of understand. Okay, let me back up. I understand what capitalism is. I get it. When you have a business, you want to make money, not lose money. I understand.
Right.
But my thing is that if we're pumping the same gas in every gas station, I don't give a damn if it's a Texaco, Shell, Citgo, 7-Eleven, Marathon, Mobil. I don't give a damn. Why is it that everybody makes their own price for the same fucking gas? That's my problem.
Well, that's it. And a lot of it has to do, of course, with their supplier. They set a price based on their supplier. I used to work for one of the Phillips.
Well, then
petroleum station
to help me out. Okay.
Well, and each supplier, it's when they buy gas or when they set the price for gas, they've been called by their supplier and says, listen, this is going to cost you, I don't know, $3.85 a gallon. And if you want to make a profit, you're going to have to raise it to, after everything's said and done. And that's where their supplier comes from. Some suppliers charge more. Some suppliers have better gas. Some gas is better refined or has better additives. And it's the cost of, you take the cost of a barrel of oil, then you send it to the refinery. The refinery goes through and refines it into the oil subproduct that can be turned into petroleum, and then the petroleum is set up with additives depending on who supplies it. Like Sun or Shell has their own special Shell V10-1 super additive that they add to theirs.
We can't forget Techron.
Yeah. And they add all these additives. Well, that adds to the price. And then they send it off. And the reason some stations may have a lower price is because they're running more gas. And it's not sitting in their tanks as long, and they're able to buy at they're, 1 week they buy it and the supplier's selling it to them for $3.85 a gallon. The next week they're selling it to them for $4.01 a gallon, because they've run through so much gas that now the price of gas has fluctuated just based on what goes from the oil.
Right.
And the other problem is some of these oil companies, they have these leases, but the local and state authorities will not allow them. They throw up the roadblocks, not just the federal government. And they're throwing up those and it just depends. And like in our state, it's against the law to have a gas war. They cannot sell for less than they paid for it to get more people in. But because the idea of a gas war is you try to beat everybody else out, sell all your gas. Of course, they're going to come in for soda pops and chips and other stuff, and that's going to offset the price of their loss on gas. And that was the reason for it, was to get people in for other services. But now in our state, it's against the law, because that's considered a reverse price fixing. Because if you do it, then the guy across the street does it, and then the guy down the block does it, and then the guy down the block can't afford to do it because he's a small independent and he's not connected with one of the big like Texaco or American Oil or Standard Oil or Phillips, all of that. And so you got all these regulations, and it just changes from week to week on what a friggin' and you got people buying oil futures, because they're buying it low, thinking that at a future date it's going to sell higher, and they sell those futures at a profit. There is so much goes into 1 gallon of gas that it just makes your head spin. And the local gas station very seldom has anything to say about it. Biden yelled out, you gas stations need to lower your prices. Well, I know for a fact that our gas station is selling it as lower than anybody in town right now, and they have been all along. But they're not making, maybe they are probably not making more than 2 cents a gallon profit.
But who's the one that said? But who's the one that say he's gonna do a full-blown jihadist against fuel? Joe Biden said it. So why are you blaming somebody else? If you know that he never takes responsibility for his own fuck up. He never does.
Right. Yep.
He's saying,
how about
go ahead.
When he's reading the teleprompter and he actually reads every word?
Yeah.
And you'll say,
I'd like to
end quote.
My fellow Americans, salute. I salute you. Hand down.
Hey, Lord, and then when he said, that thing, you know what I'm talking about, that thing,
the
Constitution. Moron, tell me, what thing are you talking about? I want to hear it.
Yeah.
That thing, how do you say it again?
Yeah, exactly.
So you are.
Yeah, it was
the Pledge of Allegiance, wasn't it?
No, it was I think it was the opening of the Declaration of Independence. He was talking about it on and he had it there. I mean, I'm sure they didn't leave him to, but he meanders off of his script and he gets lost, and then he doesn't know how to. And of course, the script people they're running teleprompter up and down, and he's going to, trying to find out where the hell's he at in this speech, because damn well he does. Well, I don't know. Maybe they did hire a bunch of inept, grade schoolers to write his speeches for him. I don't know who writes his speeches, but I'm pretty sure they're pissed off most of the time now because he doesn't stick to anything, and and that, he gets lost. And that's another thing. You talk about who to blame. We have an oil reserve that, that was set up in the 70s after the Suez Canal and, after the oil shortage and the oil embargoes we had back in 73, I think it was.
Yep. 72, 73, yep.
72, 73. So we put in emergency oil reserve. He took and sold that.
Yep.
Sold to the Chinese. The Chinese.
That's right.
He sold our American gas reserves to Chinese. If that doesn't make it an impeachable offense, I don't know what does. Because
But do you hear anybody talking about it in the liberal media? No.
Oh
no, they're not mentioning it at all. They're not.
Now, keep in mind, he went ahead and said, "I have nothing to do with my son's whatever overseas. Nothing." But you were busted where you're talking about it on the phone and voicemail. But he's still saying he's not responsible. The liberal media don't want to say nothing about it, but let that be Trump and Trump's son saying it. I guarantee you will be there every day, all day, 24/7. Breaking news: Trump is a liar. But nobody said anything about Biden.
Oh, and for 4 years they kept saying Trump he's colluding with the Russians.
Right,
and that was a big lie.
Yeah,
and that prostitute. What's the name of the prostitute that he supposedly has sex with? That peed in the bed or whatever. That lady.
Golden showers.
Whatever. Yeah, exactly. The whole time, and then he's a rapist because he likes to kiss women against her will and grab him by the you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the beer, but nothing about Biden. Nobody.
Right, and Biden's the one who goes around sniffing their hair and all of that stuff.
Their hair. Saying racist things, like, hey, there's an Indian working at every 7-Eleven because of their accent.
Yeah. Is it my system or is it yours that's glitching?
Mine is glitching a little bit too on
Art.
Yeah.
Art, you're kind of freeze frame.
That might be my CP.
I thought it was just me. I thought it was just me.
Oh yeah, I see it now when I watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay, it wasn't me then. I thought
no. Lloyd, you look good. Adrian, but
Adrian looks like
right now.
Adrian looks as good as he always does.
Yeah.
You're number one.
I'm sure we are. Yeah.
Now keep in mind, I didn't do the middle one. I did this one. Out of respect.
Out of respect to the channel, that was appreciated. And I will be using StreamYards tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, good. So it'll be a good show then.
Well, I don't know if it'll be a good show. Adrian, if you're not busy tomorrow, you're welcome to come on my show.
Yeah, just send me another one like you did last week. I'll be there.
Yeah, but this time we're using StreamYard, so it'll be better with luck.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And right now I'm getting they must have just added that because I get the signal strength deal on the StreamYards.
On StreamYards?
Yeah.
That's why I'm looking like crap.
Actually, that's not new. When it comes to mine art, I always see the little strength, little meter. It gives you like 3 bars of 1 bar. Yep. I get that all the time on mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we've done a little over an hour. Boy, we covered a lot of ground. So,
we did.
I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming. Mason, Chris, who else?
Yeah.
Mickey McH and Chris Wedgeworth and
right.
And all you other guys.
Mike B.
Mike B. And Mike Texart. Yep.
So,
thanks for coming, and we'll catch you next week, and God bless you. Have a great week.
Thank you for having me. Lloyd, Art, everybody in the chat. I'll see you all later.
All right. Take care, Adrian. Bye-bye.